What's up? It's been a while. Been trying to get back into playing some Payday 2 recently, and I was taken to doing some one-down solo in order to get back into the swing of things. I've just been grinding infamy levels recently, just kind of having fun with the game again for the first time in a long time. I was rank 78, I think, whenever I started the run. I wasn't really trying to actually get a proper run going. I just wanted to mess around with my OBS settings and get some better footage. I'll go through the build really quickly. Uppers aced to die less. Shock and awe ace because I wasn't bringing a gun that could shoot through shields. I don't even think I meant to have underdog ace. I think this is a relic of the previous build that I had before I was using this one, and I just didn't take the points out, so that's whatever. That's for weapon stats. This is of course for more dodge and the occasional crit. Pistol skills to be better at killing things. That's pretty much it. For the guns I use the Parabellum and the Deagles. They were mostly modded, primarily just for concealment. Oops. So rock tech suppressors, concealment modifier, bling grip, extended mag. I didn't have a slide. Let's see. And then for the Parabellum, I think I just had the reinforced barrel, concealment modifier, and the engraved grip. That's pretty much it. I was running Hacker. I tried to run Sicario, but it's not very good on Boiling Point. Or at least it wasn't the handful of times that I was messing with it as I was trying to like adjust my OBS settings. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get into the run now. So like I said a minute ago, I was mostly just trying to get back into playing Death Sentence and doing it solo. I didn't really have a particular reason for picking this heist. It was just, it kind of popped up on my screen, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't done Bowling Point in a while. I'll mess around with doing some runs with that. I had to adjust some OBS settings. I had to reinstall Windows not too terribly long ago, and had lost all of my program data and things like that, so I couldn't remember what my settings were, so I was, you know, running through a handful of attempts, and each time I was, you know, if I failed or whatever, I would go out in OBS, check the settings, and update them to try to get the bit rate just right and things like that. But that's not really important here. I do plan on doing, hopefully, more runs in the future, so long as I keep having fun with the game. I'm definitely having more fun running without trying to do full speed swarm. I don't even have that mod anymore. That was part of the reason I kind of fell out of playing that for a long time, was trying to get one down runs in while using the full speed swarm mod. It was really brutal, man. Maybe there are cats out there right now that can still do it. I don't really even know much about people that are doing difficulty runs still and things like that. There's probably an oversaturated market, but you know, it's not a big deal. I'm just kind of back having fun with it, and I do enjoy making videos like whenever I'm in the mood for it, and I was kind of surprised I was able to get back into the game as easily as I did and just kind of sink back into old habits. Which thankfully, I don't know if it's just as I've aged a little bit and things like that, but it seems like it's even easier now. Maybe that's just because of the state of the game, but it seems like my general game sense and things like that have improved a little bit as I've played other games and all that, which this heist went particularly well. I wouldn't call this starting spawn for the satellite hack to be particularly, well, it's not satellite, I guess it's a missile. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The hack here, this isn't the spawn I originally wanted. I prefer the spawn on the far side of the map, where you have some cover on your backside as well. This is fairly exposed and can get really hectic, but I get really lucky with a lot of my dodges here in a minute. I remember that in particular. I was just kind of standing in the open and I just wasn't getting hit. Hacker is something that I've used a lot, primarily in terms of stealth builds. I don't use it super often for loud. I've always been kind of an anarchist guy, even up until recently, but I figured I'd kind of give it a try here because I've read around and saw that it was a fairly strong dodge option, especially with the ability to get some healing back with the pocket ECMs, and as well as getting like the stuns from the pocket ECMs. That's really, really strong too. It's really great for pushing objectives. It's just something you really need to be able to do for solo. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, where I was just getting really good rolls on my dodge here. I mean, it's incredible, actually. It's kind of getting hard carried by RNG, but it's kind of the nature of it. So, as I'm watching the video back here, it looks like I might still need to mess with my settings a little bit. Got kind of choppy there for a second. So, that's something I'll refine as time goes on. I'm just trying to get back into all this. I had fun with this heist, though. It's an enjoyable heist. On the whole, it's pretty simple. It's pretty short when you just push through it. I didn't really have to stop for anything, which is something I enjoyed. I kind of liked just pushing through the heist. I didn't really get caught up with, you know, the hack getting delayed, or here the EMP doesn't really get delayed at all. I'm just kind of able to continuously push through the heist, which is really nice. Of course, I destroyed the barrels a minute ago just so I didn't get trolled by enemies. I'm not really sure which EMP spawn I would have preferred. I think pretty much any time I got to this part, which is only like a couple times before this. I don't know, I probably did this within like 6 attempts, maybe. That sounds about right. And most of them died at the beginning hack, because I would just get overwhelmed too early on. But I did make it here to the EMP a couple times beforehand. And each time I got the upstairs spawn, not the downstairs spawn, so I really don't even know if the downstairs spawn would have been preferable or not. That doesn't really matter, because it all just kind of works out. Plenty of defensible positions up here at the top, with all the wood and things like that. Not having the ability to quickly dispatch shields was probably the weakest part of this build, but everything else about it was pretty strong. The only thing that I might even have another issue with was there were a couple times where ammo got a little scarce when I couldn't like run out and grab ammo boxes and things like that, but I managed for the most part. The Deagle's ammo pickup isn't stellar. The Parabellum is pretty decent in terms of pickup, but when I'm kind of holed out into cover like I am right now, it's hard to get out and grab your pickups, and you'll blow through your ammo pretty quickly. Here I didn't know if I needed to go ahead and just heal up, or if I need to wait for Upper's Ace to kick in, and I opted to let Upper's Ace kick in, because it would probably give me a bit more survivability. Because, I mean, really, I'm banking more on the dodge saving me until I need the Upper's Ace, which I kind of blew a bit of a first aid kit there. I don't even know why I pushed forward. I think I wanted those ammo boxes, because I was getting kind of low on ammo and I was concerned about running out. Had a couple really good dodges right there. It's pretty nice. I could have got wrecked pretty easily going down into the lower parts here. Hacker, from what little bit of experience I got while I was doing this, is pretty strong perk for solo. For solo one down, it's probably something I'll try to use a bit more in the future. Again, it just has utility, it's got healing, it's got dodge. So, I mean, if you're playing safe, it's kind of, I don't know, it seems really busted. Which I'm going to experiment with some other perk decks as well for future videos. I kind of try to make it map dependent. I still want to try to use a variety. I feel like that was something that was also a lot of fun. I was just trying to use a variety of perks, even ones that were a little not as meta, which I know Hacker is really strong. So I'm not saying that this is like a, you know, a mediocre perk that I'm using on this run or whatever, but I'm also trying to get back into, you know, back into doing runs in general. As far as the weapon loadout goes, again, the only thing that was kind of weak about it, ammo, and then not being able to quickly dispatch shields. Which shields aren't really a problem on this particular map. There's not really many spaces where shields can really screw you over. On something like Undercover, for example, the ability to shoot through shields is a lot more important just because the map is so much more enclosed. But with this map, even in these hallways, there's typically enough room to move around the shields to shoot them. Just kind of preemptively placing some first aid kits here while the wave was died down. I didn't have bag throwing skills, so I wasn't ready for that to just kind of flop to the floor there. The general plan was just to protect the room and to try to find the power box so I could keep this from getting interrupted. Killing power wasn't really an issue with this weapon loadout. That was what I'm more concerned with generally whenever I'm trying to think of a weapon loadout, is I want to have a lot of killing power. I don't want to be pumping tons and tons of bullets into things. I just want them to die in just a shot or two. Which is kind of the weakness of shotgun builds that kind of rely on crit hits. Akimbo Grims and Yzma and other things like that. Which, I mean, they're still really good, and they're very much, to my knowledge, there's still very meta options, like automatic shotguns, particularly the Grims. But, again, that's just something I'll kind of experiment with a bit more as I maybe try to do more difficult runs. In the very early parts of the scanning process, it felt like I didn't have a lot of enemies down here, and it felt very scarce. I was almost concerned that something was going wrong, but right about the time that I started thinking, like, man, there's no enemies down here, what's going on? They started flooding in a bit more, which is nice. Which a lot of my play recently has been with full lobbies, or I've been running around with the AI, so I'm more used to having like 4-man spawns. So I was, I was a little concerned about what was going on there. I still have my inverted flashbang glare mod. That's just like a must-have for me. There's nothing more annoying in the middle of the night to be playing and then all of a sudden you get hit by a flashbang and your whole room lights up from the white screen. All in all, this was pretty straightforward. I think the scanning process only gets interrupted once, and it gets interrupted like right at the tail end of it too. The only kind of sketchy scenario in the whole run was actually right here. I wanted to be sure this hallway was kind of clear before I ran out. Obviously I can't sprint, so I don't get that extra dodge chance from sprinting and all that, so I just tried to clear these guys out. Then I get rushed by a dozer, and then there's another dozer, and a cloaker. What the world is going on? Things got a little hectic there, and I was a little worried that things were going to get bad. I saw that uppers kicked off, and I was like, okay, I need to kind of get this contained really quickly. Might try in the future to do no deployables. It'd be a bit harder, a lot more aggravating, but it'll just be heist dependent. I just kind of gotta wait to see what the future holds. I don't want to get too crazy and then burn myself out like I did previously. I'd rather keep my enjoyment from the game, even if it meant I wasn't doing the absolute craziest runs possible, which, in my personal opinion, my runs were never that crazy anyway. Just making sure I'm reloaded here. Thankfully, I decided to check because there were dozers out here. I didn't get completely one-shot, which was nice. That would have been very tragic. Let's go ahead and heal up since I know I'm going to be moving out. I still got a couple first aid kits, which is really all I was concerned about. So as long as I have something to kind of buffer myself as I'm moving to the end of the map, that was a big concern here. Try to hug the wall till my armor comes back. I see the sniper shots, and then I just try to like bob and weave and dodge and all this. Heal up again real quick. Again, just really trying to stay alive and push to the end. So I have to go ahead and pop my pocket ECM and try to kill some of these guys to get some health back. Which I wasn't dangerously low, but I wanted to stay topped off in case one of the snipers hit me. But it looks, I pretty much dodge all the shots here. I was really nervous about just getting completely wrecked here at the end, so I played it safe and hugged the wall pretty close. Could have shot the sniper, but I didn't want to stand in place for too long. And that's all she wrote. So, not too bad. Took less than 15 minutes and just a handful of attempts to get the run. So yeah, it looks like I was level 78 there. So, hopefully there will be more to come. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any heist suggestions that aren't total memes, go ahead and throw them in the comments below. I'll see you guys around. Later.